Good evening, and welcome to Pillow Talk with Jay. I want to thank you so much for tuning in and allowing me to join you for a tiny portion of your evening. Thank you so much. I hope that everyone is staying cool. I'm trying to. It's so doggone hot. And I never typically get hot, so. But guys, listen, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Please do me a favor, you all. Go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio. And J is spelled Jaye for all three. Guys, tonight we're talking about where did we go wrong? Have you ever been in a relationship and it was on life support, or it had already flatlined and you thought, where did we go wrong? How did we end up here? Not speaking or barely speaking. No communication, no connection. Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? Sometimes this could be the $1 million question. Or sometimes nothing went wrong. It's just that particular season in your life with that person or for that relationship is over. Now, a lot of times, I know a lot of us have a hard time accepting when the season is over, but sometimes there is no rhyme or reason. It's done. Like, you got what you were supposed to get from that person, or whatever lesson or experience you were supposed to get, whatever you were supposed to experience, it's come to an end. And vice versa. Maybe you've given all that you can give to them. That's it. Your season is over. Sometimes the relationship was over a long time ago, before you even got to the point of asking yourself, where did we go wrong? Maybe it never went. But you just got the strength to just let it be. Sometimes we get so caught up and we can go through the motions. We can go through the motions because we're comfortable and we're content. But does comfort and contentment necessarily mean that you're happy with that person? Does that mean that this is where you want to be? Or are you simply just going through the motions? Sometimes you muster up the courage and just let them go. They've been in and out, wishy-washy, up and down, till one day you just like, okay, this is what you want. Okay, I throw my hands up. Nothing enough to say, nothing left to do. Just let it go. You let them go mentally, emotionally, and physically. But see, a lot of times letting people go mentally and emotionally can be the roughest part of letting go. Sometimes that's the roughest part to do, is to get them out of your mind and get them out of your heart. See, sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. But once you accept that it's done here and then here, once they physically leave or once you physically leave, it's done. Bobby, you're saying sometimes you just grow apart. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Absolutely. Sometimes you just grow apart, or you were never together. Sometimes we just go through the motions. And again, we get so comfortable. You were with them, but were they really with you? See, We can only control how we feel and how we move, but we can't control somebody else's feelings and somebody else's movements. We can't control that. But once you've let a person go in your heart and in your mind, letting them go physically is icing on the cake because you've done the hard part. You've done the hard part. Once you get your heart and your mind on one accord, letting them go physically is the easy part. Your heart and your mind, that's the challenge. That's the challenge. Stop desiring, when you stop desiring to be with them, when you stop and accept the fact that it's not going to work, it didn't work, when you no longer are concerned about where they are, if they're going to call, if you're going to see them, if you're going to spend time with them, when you're no longer concerned about those things, when you're at peace with the fact that you gave all you can give, and you've made peace in your heart, and you've made peace in your mind. Once the physical part is here, once that physical part ends, that's it. You get tired of pulling and trying to hold the relationship together. Sometimes where did we go wrong is y'all wasn't supposed to be together in the first place. This wasn't no relationship. This wasn't supposed to be together. You wasn't supposed to be with that person. The signs and red flags have been there since the beginning. And you've been ignoring them, shooting them down, dodging them, acting like you didn't see that they would be missing for 2-3 days, acting like you didn't see that, okay, well, you call and they don't answer and they never call you back. And, all these little things that we can so often turn a blind eye to. You ignore them. And you trot on hoping for the best. A lot of us do this only to be greatly disappointed in the end. Bobby, you're saying that was me ignoring the red flags. A lot of us do this only to be disappointed. You hold on despite all the reservations that may be coming, despite being scared, despite that in the pit of your stomach saying, let it go, just go, look, you're going to get hurt, danger, danger, danger. Some of us still hold on because we're hoping for the best. We want to see the best in the situation. We love them. But here's what you got to understand. Just because you love somebody, don't mean that they love you. Some people just tolerate you. Some people like the fact that you may be a good person on some level to them. But the love that they should have for you, they don't have it. But they don't want to let you go. David, you're saying we want what we want, whether it's good or bad. Absolutely. But again, sometimes we hold on and we hold on and we hold on too long. And then we ultimately end up being the ones to be hurt. You're loving them. You're holding on. But yet you get hurt. Because you ignored those signs. You kept holding on. Disappointment after disappointment. You brush it off and you get back in there. You're like, okay, I'm gonna give it another shot. Get back in there. Boom. Knock you down again. Okay, man, I love her. Okay, let me just get in there, get it together. Okay, I got it together. I'm back in there. Boom, knock you down again. Okay, man. Oh, okay, man. I love him so much. Okay, let me just give it one more shot. One more shot. One more shot and one more shot. And by the time you look around and you look at the condition of your poor little heart, your heart has been beat up and been torn apart because you kept giving one more chance, one more chance, one more chance. Brian, you're saying, is this just for women? Absolutely not. Mark, you're saying harder to walk away when kids are involved. David, you're saying true. Sometimes the question isn't where do we go wrong? It's what took us so long to get here? What took us so long? What took me so long to acknowledge the red flags? Because red flags, listen, Brian, red flags, men see red flags all the time. We all see red flags. We just choose to ignore them. A man's red flag may be different than red flags that women get, but red flags are red flags. There's a time that we've all had that we've held on to that relationship for way too long. And we're like, man, I should have just let that ish go. But again, we hold on to it so long. So instead of asking, where did we go wrong? What took you so long to get here? What took you so long to say, you know what? Look, I'm done. I'm not even going to put myself through this. What took you so long to get to that point? I said it, you said, yeah, we all come into relationships if what we will tolerate, but all it takes is that feeling that we start depriving ourselves of what's best for our spirits. Absolutely. You said it right. I said it. When we start depriving ourselves, you deprive yourself of the happiness that you deserve. You deprive yourself of the attention that you need. You deprive yourself of just the good vibes and the good energy that you deserve. You deprive yourself from being loved the way that you should when you hold on longer than you should. So sometimes asking that, where did we go wrong? We're asking the wrong questions. What made you think that it could work with that person? That's a question that you could ask. Why did you hold on so long? And then sometimes no questions or answers are needed. Just let it go. They've showed you what it is. Now you're at the point where you acknowledge what it is. There's no questions needed. No, where did we go wrong? Just let it go. Just let it go. David, you're saying some vibes are hard to break. Very true. But if you're asking yourself, where did we go wrong? Isn't that a sign that the vibe is already broke? Or the vibe is one-sided? See, a lot of times we feel and we love and we know that our intentions are true and we're down for them, but are they really down and riding for us like we're riding for them? Sometimes it is what it is. Mark, you're saying after so long you be comfortable with their BS. Absolutely. And you forget, you get lost in the shuffle. Your heart and what you want and what you desire and your happiness has gotten lost in the shuffle because you've been so busy holding on to them. Holding on to something and someone that let you go long time ago. but yet you're still holding on. Because like you said, Mark, you've gotten comfortable there. But when you look around and you're asking, where do we go wrong? It's time to let go. Sometimes it's time to let go. And then sometimes people, we just find ourselves in a bad spot. And it's worth having a conversation. Sometimes, where did we go wrong? Sometimes some people lose their way. Sometimes all hope is not gone. Sometimes the love is still there. Sometimes we just got wrapped up in living this life. We get so caught up and wrapped up in other things that we forget about who's there for us and who got our back. We take people for granted. And you can end in this situation. Where do we go wrong? You stopped focusing on each other. You stopped paying attention to each other. You stopped doing the things that you did to get each other. You stopped being each other's number one fans. You stopped that. You started paying this one over here more attention, that one over there. You stopped it. That's where you went wrong. You went wrong when you stopped complimenting each other, when you stopped being each other's friends, when you stopped being each other's go-to person. That's where you went wrong. If both of you all are on the same page and you want it, fight for it. Make that ish work. Listen, a train that's going the wrong direction, it can jump the track. And listen, they kick that gear back and trip that track and get that train back on track. Get it back on course. The same thing with your relationship or your marriage. But that's up to each individual. So I don't think that every situation and all hope is gone. The major key is both people being on one accord at the same time, willing to turn things around. Because if you're at the point where you're asking, where did we go wrong? Don't look at the other person. Look at yourself for that answer. You have to take accountability for your part, and they have to take their accountability for their part. And from that point, have a conversation and figure out, are you going to stay on the wrong side of the tracks, or are we going to turn this thing around and get this train back in motion? Guys, listen, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Please do me a favor. Go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio. And J is spelled Jaye. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Please have a great night. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves and each other. Till next time, you guys. Peace out. Thank you guys so much. Listen, love on people. Listen, life is too short. Folks are getting out of here just like that. So love on each other while you have the chance. Good night, you guys. Thank you.